I am Anthony Remedios, and this is my rant. The Giants' bullpen is terrible. Just this week, Monday and Tuesday, we've had a 1-0 lead each day, and we've lost both of those to the bullpen. And in 2016 NLDS, we barely won Game 3 in 13 innings when it should have ended in 9. The next day, for Game 4, we lost, and we had a 5-2 lead going into the 9th and lost 6-5. Please, we need help. Giants organization, trade, and get some relievers. I am Anthony Remedios, and this is my rant.
Welcome, everybody. This is Nick Zoll. I have Anthony Remedios and Garrett Sunderland beside me. This is 580, AM 580, Inside the Lines. And remember, if you want to get on air, you can call our number. It's 818-525-TALK. Once again, that's 818-525-TALK. And we'll get into the first topic right away. So, with the Warriors winning their 3rd championship in 4 years, everybody's tired of the talk. Okay, who can dethrone the Warriors? Who can dethrone the Warriors? But we're going to talk about it. So, who do you think can dethrone the Warriors of the other 29 teams in the NBA?
I don't think there's much of a chance of that happening, but if there is, I would say it would be the Celtics. That would be my first guess for a team that would take them down.
Why would you choose the Celtics over a team like the Rockets, where they already have the pieces and we're 1 win away from beating a team like Golden State?
Well, the Celtics, they played 7 games against Cleveland in the East Conference Finals last year. And the Cavs had just been dominating the East the last 3 years prior to that. And the fact that that series went 7 games is huge. And I think it really showed that they had the competition. And it wasn't 3 games here and then 4 games. It was back and forth the whole series.
So I'm going to go to you, Garrett, with that in mind. 29 NBA teams, you can take any of them. Which one would you choose?
Well, I don't really see anyone dethroning Golden State, as I think they're in a whole other stratosphere than the rest of the league with the acquisition of DeMarcus Cousins, and they have an all-star starting lineup. But if I had to choose someone, if they were to get dethroned, I think it would be the Lakers. They have a promising young core, not to mention the best player on the planet in LeBron James. And if their young players continue to develop at a rapid pace, then I think they might have a shot to beat Golden State.
And personally, I just can't ignore the fact that the Rockets were 1 win away, and they lost Chris Paul, all-star point guard, to a hamstring. And arguably, to some people, they maybe would have won Game 7 if he were healthy. So let's move on to the next topic anyways. So you have 12 teams that made the playoffs in the NFL in the 2018 playoffs, 2017 season. And out of those 12 teams, there are 20 other teams that did make the playoffs. So I ask you guys, with those 20 teams, which of those 20 teams has the best chance to make a run like the Eagles did, as the Eagles didn't even make the playoffs the season before?
I have a feeling that the 49ers can make it. They just signed Jimmy G last season, underwent some big major rebuilding changes, and here they are, and they picked up later in the season, going strong, so I think they could have a chance.
And we got a caller here. All right, what's your name?
I'm Dylan Dayton. I come from Los Angeles.
All right, Dylan, what's your question?
So I'm just wondering, do you really think the Lakers actually have a chance to be able to beat the Golden State Warriors? They have a really kind of weak young core right now.
I'm gonna take you to Anthony on that one, but I can give my input first. I said, for the Lakers, I'm not necessarily sure this year. Maybe in a few years when Lonzo develops, when he gets to shooting a bit better. You know, Kuzma's already a good shooter right now, but if he can develop into a more all-around player, I would start buying into it. Yeah, okay, I'd start buying into it, and you got pieces around him. I just don't think they have the star power outside of LeBron James to compete with a team like Golden State. But I'll bring it over to Anthony, as he said that he has the Lakers competing this year. What do you think, Anthony?
The Lakers, yeah, they have some strong guys, and they definitely made some big off-season moves, but I don't think their chances are very high. Like Nick said, at the time in which Lonzo develops, starts hitting his peak, that's also a time, though, when LeBron's slowly going to start going downhill, and also the guys on the Warriors, same thing. Steph, KD, Draymond, etc. They're going to start slowly hitting their downfall, hopefully slowly.
Okay, thanks.
So you're saying the age is going to be like the downfall for the Warriors?
Pardon?
like how old the players are, like Kevin Durant, DeMarcus Cousins are all kind of slowly getting into their 30s. So you think they're going to start aging out?
Well, let's hope not, but it's inevitable that it's going to happen at some point.
Okay, real quick before we time out, what's your NFL team that you predict going to the playoffs and didn't go to the playoffs last year?
I think that there are a lot of promising teams, but I think the most obvious choice is Green Bay. They by far the most important position in football is the quarterback, and they're getting back one of the best, if not the best, quarterback in the game in Aaron Rodgers. And I know they lost Jordy Nelson, but the acquisition of Jimmy Graham will help them tremendously.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up there. 5:80 a.m. That is Inside the Lines. We'll see you next time.
Anthony Remedios.
Nick Zoll.
Garrett Sunderland.
With Fox Sports, we are live in Washington, D.C. for the 2018 MLB All-Star Game. I'm Nick, joined by Garrett and Anthony. We're going to preview tonight's All-Star Game, which is being held in Washington, obviously. But first of all, who do you think is your pick to win the All-Star Game MVP?
I'm going to say Mike Trout. And he's been hitting home runs a lot this year, playing really well, hitting, and I think he has a good shot to win.
And Garrett, how about you?
I agree with Anthony. I think it'll be Mike Trout because he hits for power. He's the best player in baseball. He has like a 450 on base percentage, and I think he'll just get it done. And I think the American League will end up getting on top.
In this All-Star Game, it's not necessarily about this. It's not about the game. There are many, many storylines outside of just on the field. You have Manny Machado, who is reportedly very, very close to being traded to the Dodgers, and you have Bryce Harper, who is reportedly being set to leave Washington after this season. And I got to ask you guys, do you think this will be Bryce Harper's last All-Star Game in a Nationals uniform?
Maybe. It depends on how the Nationals do and what they choose to pursue in the offseason, and whether or not they want to sort of lose one of their best guys, hitting-wise.
Garrett, do you think the Nationals are going to be willing to give up that kind of money for Bryce Harper?
I think it depends. If they really think that they can make a playoff push towards the end of the season and be able to make the playoffs, then I think they might keep Bryce Harper. But if they think that they don't have a chance and they just want to rebuild, I think trading Bryce Harper is their best option.
Okay, one last question for you guys. We've got the starting pitch matchup tonight. We have Max Scherzer for the NL and Chris Sale for the AL. Which do you think will have a greater impact on the game?
I think Max Scherzer is going to go longer, and he'll be the dominant pitcher, but both are great. Scherzer's just been strong all year and arguably one of the best pitchers in the game right now.
I agree with Anthony. I think that Max Scherzer will end up being on top, but I think they're both great pitchers, and I think they both will probably go about 2 innings because that's the norm for starting pitchers in the All-Star game, but they're both great strikeout pitchers. They both might win the Cy Young for the different leagues, American League and National League, but I think Max Scherzer just a little bit more poised, and he might be a little bit of a better pitcher.
All right, guys, you heard it here from Fox Sports. It is Nick Zoll. We are an hour away from first pitch. See you later.
Hello, everybody. I'm Justin Borsas, along with my colleagues
Garrett Sunderland.
And Anthony Remedios.
And this is Game 1 post-game of the NBA Finals, where the Cavaliers just lost to the Warriors after a very big blunder made by J.R. Smith in the final moments. Guys, let's get your thoughts on that.
The biggest thing for me is J.R. Smith. I mean, first, to end a half, he let Steph Curry get a wide-open 3, and that gave momentum to the Warriors. And then at the end, George Hill, I mean, you got to make your free throws, but he got the rebound. He could just put it back up to win the game, but he didn't know the score. I mean, the 2 things you need to know is the clock, how much time you have, and the score. And you can't just think you're tied. You can't think you're up 1 if you're really tied. You just got to know. Those are mental errors you just can't make.
It's definitely a rookie mistake. Like Garrett was saying, definitely need to know the score. Clock, not so much earlier on in the game, but shot clock for sure you need to know. And in a crucial game like that, you need to know how much time is left.
Oh, there is breaking news that the Cavs announced J.R. Smith has been cut, and the Warriors are interested in signing him to a 10-day deal. I think that's crazy. I mean, I know he made a mistake, but he was their starting shooting guard. He's their lockdown defender. And I know he made a huge mistake that cost him game 1, but he anchors that team. And other than LeBron, they don't have that many good defenders. And he's a 3-and-D guy. He can do a lot of stuff for their team. So I think that was a mistake. What do you think?
Well, I think it's a dumb move. He's basically the Madonna of the team, meaning that he, is very outspoken, can cause headaches for the team. He's not a good shooter. He bricks most of the time. And the Warriors are already loaded with star power, and Andre Iguodala picks up the defensive end with the veteran leadership that he has. So I disagree with the move entirely. Hopefully they cut him after 10 days and he's out of a job for a while until a more deserving team needs him.
I don't know. For the Cavs, this may or may not be a smart move. But in terms of the Warriors signing him, I don't think it's a wise idea. They don't need him. They have Steph, Clay, Draymond, KD, plus Iguodala, McGee, and some of their other bench players. I don't think they need J.O. Smith.
And with that, we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, stay with us.
Hi, I'm Anthony Remedios, and this is
Garrett Sunderland.
And we're here today to give you a football preview for the upcoming season. First off, which team or teams do you think will win the Super Bowl and or which teams could be a contender?
I think there are many contenders such as Green Bay, New England, the Rams, Falcons, and Eagles, obviously, and so on. But if I had to pick one team, I'm going out on a limb here, but I think it'll be the Los Angeles Rams. They got a lot of acquisitions during free agency trades. They got Marcus Peters. They just signed Brandon Cooks, who they got acquired in a trade from New England to a 5-year deal. He's very fast. He can get a lot of deep threats for Jared Goff. Also, they just locked up their running back, all-pro running back, Todd Gurley, who's a top 3-2 running back in the league. So they have a great quarterback in Jared Goff, a great running back. They have a great defense. They have the best defender in the league in Aaron Donald. And I just think they're going to make a big splash during the postseason. What do you think?
I think, of course, we'll have I'm sure the Patriots will probably be back. They've been in it for a long time. It's just sort of become part of New England football, I think. Definitely, I could see Philly's probably going to go back. Some other teams I could see as contenders, Green Bay, even the Rams. And even I think the 49ers can bounce back. They've undergone some new couple changes in leadership over the last couple years, and as we saw, especially in the second half of last season, they made some very significant changes that have changed the dynamic of their team. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out for me. Who do you think will be the MVP for this year?
There are a lot of good candidates, such as Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. Maybe Matt Ryan can come and win it. They have Drew Brees, Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell. But if I had to pick one, I'm going to go with Tom Brady. I mean, he has a great system, a great coach, and I mean, he's the GOAT for a reason. He's won 5 Super Bowls. He's won an MVP at 40 years old, and I don't think he's slowing down anytime soon. He's a great quarterback. He has the highest IQ of any quarterback I've ever seen, and I just think he'll get it done this year.
Well, I think Tom Brady is not a left field choice. I think Aaron Rodgers will be a great contender for that award, and that's who I'm going to make my pick for. Even though he was injured for most of last season, if he comes back strong, I do think he could. I think he can really have a great season, and like I said, Green Bay can be a contender for the Super Bowl.
Another note, there are a lot of teams that haven't made the playoffs last year that are making big splashes in the offseason. What team do you think will be the biggest surprise and make a deep playoff run that didn't make the playoffs last year for the NFL?
I think, like I said before, I think the 49ers will be will have a great opportunity. It's not really so much a surprise because they made some changes even during last year in the off season, but I do think they'll have a chance, and they will definitely be towards the top of contention this year.
There are a lot of great teams, such as the 49ers didn't make it last year, just many teams, but if I had to pick one, I think it'd be Green Bay. I mean, they're getting back Aaron Rodgers, who's if not the best quarterback, one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the league. And the most important position by far in football is the quarterback. You need a quarterback in order to make any run at the playoffs. Like, mostly every Super Bowl team that's won has always had a great quarterback. So they're getting back Aaron Rodgers. I know they lost Jordy Nelson, but the acquisition of Jimmy Graham I think will be great for Aaron Rodgers, and I think they'll at least make the playoffs. If not, have a great chance of going all the way.
Great. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so we have to wrap it up. But thank you for watching, and good luck to all your respective teams in the season. Have a great day. This was Anthony Remedios.
Garrett Sunderland.
And we will see you next time.
From the Sports Broadcasting Camp, this is Sports Broadcasting Center. I am Nick Zoll, along with my partners,
Garrett Sunderland.
And Anthony Remedios.
For the 3rd time in 4 years, the Golden State Warriors are NBA champions, beating the Cleveland Cavaliers 108-85 in Game 4 of the finals to complete the sweep. Steph Curry led all scorers with 37 points, while teammate Kevin Durant took home Finals MVP for the 2nd straight year. Following the game, LeBron James announced to the media he played the final 3 games of the series with a broken right hand after punching a blackboard in the Cavs locker room following the team's Game 1 loss.
More NBA news. While Hoops fans focus on the best of the best on the court, the Sixers have an embarrassing issue off the court to deal with involving Philly's general manager. In a scathing expose by TheRinger.com, Brian Colangelo has been accused of maintaining fake Twitter accounts and using those accounts to criticize the team and its players. The Sixers say they are conducting an internal investigation.
To hockey now. Washington clipped Las Vegas 4-3 in Game 5 of the Finals to host the Stanley Cup for the first time in franchise history. Caps star Alex Ovechkin was named playoff MVP after setting a franchise record with 15 postseason goals. This marks the first championship for the nation Capitals since the Redskins took the Super Bowl crown in 1992.
Now to football. The NFL has a new national anthem policy requiring players to stand if they are on the field during the anthem. However, they have been given the option to remain in the locker room if they prefer to do so. Commissioner Roger Goodell said the new policy was approved unanimously by the owners, but within hours of the announcement, several NFL owners claimed that they were not supportive of the new rule.
Breaking news in baseball. MLB suspends Seattle Mariners second baseman Robinson Cano 80 games for violating the league's performance-enhancing drug policy. The suspension begins immediately for the 8-time All-Star, who is currently on the disabled list with the broken hand.
And finally, Manchester United-bound Fred has been injured while training with Brazil ahead of their World Cup warm-up game against Austria. The 24-year-old required ice treatment and was forced to sit out the rest of the training session.
That will wrap it up for Sports Broadcasting Center. For my partners,
Nick Zoll
And Anthony Remedios.
I'm Garrett Sunderland. Good night.
We are live from Aragon High School, where the Dons football team just began football practices last week. Speculations have begun as to who will be the team's starting quarterback. According to team member Nick Grudowski, he said, "As of now, it looks like it will be Sean Buderman." The Dons kick off their season Friday, August 31st. Live from Aragon High School, Anthony Remedios, ESPN. Hi, this is Anthony Remedios, and we are reporting live from the Rose Bowl, home of the UCLA Bruins. The Bruins have a new coach coming in this year, Mr. Chip Kelly, after firing Jim Mora last year with a 6-7 record and a devastating loss to Kansas in the Cactus Bowl. Hopefully, they will do a lot better this year, as they plan to run a no-huddle read option defense. This is Anthony Remedios reporting live from the Rose Bowl Sports Broadcasting Camp.